direction. Back up. The cops were moving fast. The car jumped a curb and stopped, maybe half a block behind Corey. An officer barged out the passenger door, her gun drawn. Another pulled a big wire cage and a kind of lasso from the car's trunk. They moved toward him cautiously. The crack of a gunshot echoed. The bullet barely missed Corey's ear, maybe 2 inches. It hit the corrugated metal door of a shut bodega, then bounced onto the sidewalk. Soft bullets, probably tranquilizers. The hot dog cart workers were running into the warehouse. Corey sprinted toward them. He hoped the cops wouldn't fire if humans were nearby. Protected, Corey slipped quickly around the nearest corner. The sidewalk flew beneath him. The cars parked at the curb passed in a blur. Across the next street was a public park. Trees, cover. No one would be in there now. He crossed the street and leaped through the gate. The sirens grew louder and then faded. Good. They hadn't seen him. Racing quietly through the trees, he headed east. He didn't know how he knew where east was. He just did. Queens was the western end of Long Island, only 25 or so miles to his destination. 25 miles of private houses, of people with eyes and cell phones. They would all want to protect their families against dangerous things, like wolves. 25 miles to Freeport. It called itself the boating and fishing capital of the East, according to Lila. Somewhere in that village, at an address Corey had memorized, lived Gus Fletcher, who was once Corey's grandfather, his papu, his confidant and best friend, his fellow time traveler. Papu would remember him, the old Corey, 8th grader Corey, the tallest kid in his class, nearly 6 feet tall at the age of 13, the kid with the crazy imagination that everyone made fun of. Time travel came with huge risks, catastrophic risks. That's what Papu had told him. When you were a throwback, the risks were off the charts. Now Corey understood those words. His last trip into time had caused, well, this. The old man had been a time traveler all his life. He had trained Corey. He would know how to deal with this. He was Corey's only hope. If Corey could stay alive long enough to get there. 1.
"Did you catch him?"
snorted the deep, scratchy voice of Cosmo de Smiglia, a.k.a. Smig.
"He was dreadfully fast."
Of course I didn't catch him. Lila couldn't see Smig, but she could smell him. He was hiding behind some wilted bushes at the edge of the Central Park's North Woods. Why didn't you chase him with me? You just sat there. She'd been carrying Corey, but she'd set him down to look at her phone. And then he was gone. There 1 minute, gone the next, a dark streak running across the baseball fields. She had tried to chase him, but by the time she'd gone a few steps, he was 100 yards away, headed toward the East 97th Street exit.
"So sorry."
Now Smig's hairy snout was sticking out from the bushes. His tusks pointed upward like daggers, and even in the dark, Lila could see flies on his face.
"As a human, I was quite the runner. People wrote poems about my legs. Now, not so much."
He emerged into the streetlight, his hairy body thick and bowed. Next to him was a white cat-like creature with a snout like a beagle. "Sorry," it said in a whispery, high-pitched voice. "But you did take us by surprise." Lila sighed with exasperation. She began pacing back and forth, words spilling from her mouth. "No, it's my fault. I shouldn't have set him down. I just didn't think he'd run away. I feel paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I wanted him to talk to you both. He's one of you now. Just another time traveler who... Twanspeciated, the cat creature said.